Are you ready, Cody? Okay. So while Cody comes up here, let me just tell you a little bit about Cody. Cody Burns will share his story of recovery and talk about his faith while going deep into a study of scars and understanding the importance of not allowing scars to prevent us from achieving a life of freedom and abundance. After Cody's conversation with you all, his keynote address, he's going to take questions from the audience. So raise your hand after he's through speaking, so hold all your questions till the end. And then also, Cody has written a book, and everyone here will get a copy of his book, and he's willing to sign it. So afterwards, you can all come up here and get a copy of his book. Okay? Read it? It's a great read. No, we took care of that. Okay? All you have to do is, it's going to be a signed copy, so we return the honor and we make sure we read it or have someone read it to us, okay? Okay, Becky.
Cody Burns, come on up.
All right. We're good. Thank you very much. How is everybody doing? I am so excited. Make sure I have this. There we go. I am so excited to be here with you all. It is such an honor and a privilege. And I want to thank Lori and Nikki and this entire organization for having me. This is awesome. We're going to have a blast. Yeah. Well, my name is Cody Burns, and I come all the way. I mean, it's a long drive. I ain't going to lie. It's all the way from the Tampa area. So 2 hours. I'm that being sarcastic. I'm a goofy guy, and I like to laugh. And I started laughing and doing crazy stuff whenever I was a kid. I have great childhood memories, but there's this one fun bit that I remember doing as a kid. I thought, why not try that here today? Would that be cool? Yeah. Okay, just to kind of get us all warmed up and get us going. So I'm going to do something. It may seem a little cheesy, and it is, but it's going to be fun, I promise. Here we go. So in my right hand, I hold all the voices of the guys. So none of y'all guys can be talking right now because I got your voice. Then in my left hand, I hold all the voices of the girls. So none of the girls can be talking right now. All right? So whenever I throw out your voices, you're going to say, oh, yeah. Got it? If you got it, shake your head. Okay, here we go. Let's try the guys first. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, nice and manly. Let's try the girls. Oh, yeah. Let's try the guys again. Oh, yeah. That's pretty good. Let's try the girls again.
Oh,
yeah. All right, let's see. I want a guy to help. Would you help me?
No.
Right here. Right there. I can't see the lanyard. Right there. Can you see me? You want to help me?
No.
Hey, I need somebody to help me. Right there. The yellow lanyard. Yes, standing up. What's your name, sir? What's your name?
Cody Bliss.
Cody?
Yeah, Cody Bliss.
You have a cool name. That's awesome. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. All right? In your girly voice, say, oh, yeah, for everybody. Let's give him a hand. Good job, man. All right, let's see. We need a girl here. Let's see. You want to do it? Stand on up. What's your name?
My name is Barney.
Noen?
Lauren Barney.
Lori. Lauren. I do apologize. So nice to meet you. All right, so in your manly voice, go, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Well, everybody back in your normal voices say, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to have a great time. Like I said, as a kid, I always loved doing those things. I have some amazing childhood memories. And I just want you to think to yourself, what was your favorite memory as a kid? Was it going to the park, or maybe having a sleepover at a friend's house, or going to the movies. As a kid, I loved all those things. But there was one thing that I loved more than anything, and it was going to the circus. How many of you have ever been to a circus before? Yeah? Okay. Well, it was my first time, and I was about 5 or 6 years old. And I remember my mom and dad coming to me, and they said, Cody, we're going to take you to the circus. And I said, yes, that's great. What is that? I had no idea. And so there we are. They take me to the circus, and we walk into this large arena. And instantly you smell popcorn and cotton candy. Oh. But everyone was rushing to their seats to watch the big show. And before you know it, the lights would dim, and there was this man that came out, and he had a top hat and a whistle. And when he blew into his whistle, there was a bunch of animals and aerialists that would come out, and it was amazing. There was elephants. There was bears that rode unicycles. I'm amazed at these creatures. And then there was these performers. There was acrobats turning flips. There were these beautiful aerialists up on the silk swinging around. They were beautiful, beautiful. And as a little boy, I liked that. But there was also, oh, check this out. People were yelling at the bearded lady and the fat man. Yeah, but it was odd because they were yelling our direction. Turns out it was my grandparents. They decided to come along. It's okay, it happens. And then there was these clowns. They looked like Stephen King's inspiration for It. Yeah, you all know you all know that movie, don't you? Oh my gosh. But there was one act that really grabbed my attention. And it was this man, he was blonde haired, and he had these props. He had a bunch of balls and clubs and hoops and knives, and he would throw them into the air. And he would, after every trick, he would take a bow, and the audience would applaud and go crazy. And I thought, oh, I want that job. That's great. It was the juggler. What talent did you fall in love with when you were young? Was it seeing that musician, that athlete, that painter? I was so fascinated by the juggler that I wanted to juggle. And so whenever we left the circus, I convinced my mom and dad to buy me a set of juggling balls. Yeah, I did get some. And so I had this VHS tape, and it was of a circus. And on this tape with the circus, there was jugglers. So I would go home in my bedroom, and I would take the bean bags, and I would study these jugglers, and I would memorize the pattern, and long and behold, I would teach myself how to juggle. And as a matter of fact, I am the world's greatest juggler, according to my mom. Thank you. So I was curious, since we're just having some fun tonight, would you guys like to see me do some juggling? Yeah. Okay. I forgot my remote control.
I put it up there.
Oh, bless you. Thank you very much. All right. And by the way, I think I have a picture of the circus, as a matter of fact, that I put in here. Yes. There we go. Awesome. See, there's a circus. Yeah. Hey, and check this out. Look at the little guy. You see the elephant? You see the little guy? That little guy is me. That adorable. So that was me at the circus. All right. So I'm going to juggle some bean bags for y'all. Would that be cool? All right. We got some music. Here we go. I'm going to start off, though, with one. Okay? Here we go. I want y'all to brace yourself. This is amazing. Good, turn it around. Yeah. Okay, you know what? I got something even better. Who wants to see me do two balls? Thank you. I look over and he's got his knife like, that's how you catch flies. They'll fly in there. He's like, what is this? 2 balls in 1 hand. Tough crowd. Y'all want to see me really do it? Okay, here we go. You may wonder why I threw that ball over there. Here we go. Thank you. Look. This is why I get rowdy here. All right, who wants to see 3? Yeah, here we go. Oh boy. Can you warm up my car? I'm just playing. Here we go. You like that? Here we go. 3 balls, and let's see. I'm going to do behind the back. You like that? Try doing some more tricks here. Yeah. Okay, who wants to see 4 balls? 4 balls. 4 balls. There you have it. Here we go. 4 balls for real. Here we go. I can tell you're really, really impressed. Oh yeah! Who wants to see 5? Here we go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, relax. Here we go. Who thought that was cool? Yes. I love juggling, and I'm going to tell you, as a youngster, I also went to church. And I was very involved in going to church, and I got to tell you, I was probably around 10 years old, and all of my friends from church were going to a church camp, kids camp. And how many of you have ever been to a camp before? Yeah. And it was like any other camp. They had activities during the day. They had a lake we could swim in. Who likes swimming? Oh yeah. You know, I got the perfect swim body. Now you laugh. What's that laugh about? No. I'm just teasing you. I'm just being good. So there was all kinds of fun things we did during the day, but at night there was a special camp speaker. And this camp speaker, he had a special skill. Can anyone guess what kind of skill he had? He juggled. So instantly, he grabbed my attention. And of course, all the other kids, they loved it too. So we walk in there, and the man's on stage, and he's juggling, But he's doing something quite different. He's presenting a message along with his juggling. And I begin to put the pieces together, and I see that this man, the juggling, it was cool, it was impressive, but that wasn't what was most important to him. What was most important was the message he was delivering to us kids. And then I discovered that this man had a calling on his life. And as a little boy, this stood out to me because he was using a skill that I loved, but he was also presenting a message, something that was greater than just himself. He wasn't on the platform to bring self-glorification, but he was there to empower us kids. Something started stirring on the inside of me. And I knew at that moment that was what I wanted to do. I knew it. I knew it without any doubt. And so, we would finish that camp week, and I had a blast, ain't gonna lie. We would go home, and I would want to volunteer with almost every church activity that we did. We did outreach programs where we went to inner cities, and we got to pass out flyers and bring a bunch of other kids to come and watch. We did puppet shows. We handed out free food. But then I was given the privilege to do my juggling on the stage, and I started slowly presenting a message in with the juggling. And I seen that this was impacting the kids that were the same age as me. And so I have a picture. There's me, and I was dressed up in a little clown outfit, but I was juggling. Yeah, I know, right? Hey, I am not it, okay? I'm not it. It's bad advertising for clowns. But I have seen the movie. It's pretty interesting. So I did this for the longest time. This was my fascination. And I knew that I wanted to give hope to people. It wasn't no longer just about the juggling. Obviously, I wanted to be good because it grabbed people's attention. But it was more than that. It was a message. And so at a young age, I started to learn ways of how I could give hope to other people around me. And so, whenever I was around 12 years old, I encountered something quite difficult, though. Life is all full of obstacles, is it not? If it is, you can agree with me. There's highs and there's lows. And as a little boy, I encountered something while going, I was probably, 5th, 6th grade, this time period. And I encountered some unordinary, or some very different types of behavior that I noticed myself doing. I started blinking obsessively, and I started making these weird noises, and I started encountering some anxiety, and I would twitch, and I would move around in weird ways. And then I found myself worrying. I worried about germs like insane. I worried about my health and the health of my family. And it got to the point that I was so miserable. And I remember going to my mom and my dad, and I would cry. I said, "Mom, Dad, something's not right." And they knew it wasn't right. So they take me to the doctor. The doctor then refers me to a psychiatrist. And I remember as a little boy feeling the embarrassment of that moment. I thought, oh my gosh, they're taking me to a psychiatrist. My entire life's over with. What are they going to say? And so I go in, and my mom was with me. And my mom is sitting over to the left of me, and the doctor comes in, and he's talking to me, and I'm here in this chair. I start explaining the symptoms and things that are going on. And he begins to tell me that I have an extreme case of obsessive compulsive disorders and Tourette's. And I thought, oh my gosh, what is this? And he's telling my mom all these things. And as he's explaining this to my mom, I'm in my mind thinking to myself about my calling, my vision of wanting to help people, give hope to people. I was worried about it, even as a little boy, because I was so passionate about it. Many kids my age, they didn't have an interest in those things. I'm a weird guy. I'm not afraid to admit that. But I was sitting there, and I remember asking the doctor. And his name was Dr. Atkins. I said, "Dr. Atkins," I said, "listen," I said, "will this affect my calling. Because my mom we was all explaining to them what I did, what I do throughout the day, what I'm passionate about. And I'll never forget his words as long as I live. He said, Cody, no. It will enhance your calling. I was taken back and I was amazed because at that moment I wasn't expecting such an answer. But could it be the things that we find embarrassing, the things that we encounter in life that others may look at us differently, could it be those things that enhance us in what we're wanting to do in life? It could be a blessing in disguise. It's all a matter of how you look at it. And so, I will explain a little bit later on of how this did, in fact, enhance my calling. So as I would grow up, I would continue doing these things. And then I would go into middle school. And I was juggling anything and everything but the phone numbers of girls. Yeah, because it was quite different than throwing, juggling apples in the supermarket was not the same as throwing balls into baskets. I was a very interesting kid, but I continued to grow. And by this time, people are saying, oh my gosh, at some point, Cody's going to grow out of this. Surely at some point. Have you ever had a dream to do something and people are thinking, you'll grow out of it eventually? Yeah. Well, that happened to me. Everyone's like, oh, you'll grow out of it. I'm in middle school by this time. Still passionate, still juggling away, active in my church and my community. And then high school rolls around and I'm still doing it. Well, then in high school, everybody's talking about your career. Oh my goodness. At some point, Cody's going to snap out of this. He's going to realize he's going to get a real job. And so I had some doubters. Have you ever had doubters in your life? People that doubt you and what you're wanting to do, wanting to accomplish. It's all up to you. It's all a matter of whether you listen to them or not. I chose not to listen to them. And I will say it's been a tremendous blessing. I kept pushing through. So then after high school, I went to a program in Rockford, Illinois. By the way, I'm originally from Indiana. This is where this all took place. And so I went up, it was about 8 hours further north from southern Indiana. Went to Rockford, Illinois, went to that school, and then I took more classes after that in Indianapolis, and I got my pastoral credentials. And then I became a children's pastor. And so I was actively speaking to kids, not only in the church, but in the community. We went anywhere and everywhere. And of course, the juggling, it was a great way to interact with the kids. It grabbed their attention. And I also received opportunities to travel the country and speak at other kids' camps, just like the one that I remember going to and seeing that speaker and that juggler. I got to do that. And I was taken back because I was reminded. I looked out at those little kids and I asked them, I said, how old are you? You know, they say, oh, I'm 10 years old. I'm thinking, my gosh, that's how old I was whenever I had the vision, and I knew at that moment that was my calling. And here I was on this stage doing the exact same thing I always envisioned myself doing. So I traveled the country. I spoke at a lot of different events. And then, because I had the juggling skills, obviously I was bound to make friends with some circus people. And so on Facebook, how many of you guys like Facebook? Social media, it's a blessing and a curse, but I tell you, it was a blessing in this case. I had a lot of circus friends. It was on my Facebook, and they knew I juggled and did things, and I had already gotten some opportunities to perform in a circus with my juggling act. Now, I didn't tour with the circus. This is what they would call spot dates, where you fly out to a city for a weekend, you do your act, and then you fly back home, back to reality. And so I did that for a few different times. It was a lot of fun. But there was one event that really stood out to me. And the circus producer, he actually lives in Sarasota, Florida, and very, very popular clown, entertainer. He's been on America's Got Talent. His name is Bello Knock. And he was producing a show, and you know who he is. He got the tall hair. And they were going to be producing a show in San Francisco, California. The show was called Cirque Musica, and it was going to be with the San Francisco Orchestra. They were going to be playing behind us. And so they said they needed a juggler. So they messaged me, and they said, Cody, send us your video of your act. So I sent it to them, and I was so nervous. But it was about 1 month later, I got a response. It said, Cody, we need you July 6th to fly out to San Francisco to rehearse to perform your act with the San Francisco Orchestra. The little boy that was watching the circus, don't you know that little boy got excited on the inside? Have you ever had a moment like that in your life?
No.
You ever, oh my gosh, well, if you haven't, you can have one. I'm here to tell you that if you put your mind to something, nothing can stop you. The sky is the limit. The only limitations that we can encounter in life is those that we put on ourselves. It's all a matter of what we tell ourselves. Gaining that fresh perspective, knowing that it is possible, believing in yourself, and finding others who can believe in you as well, because that's so important. Because I had a lot of people that believed in me. So I flew out to San Francisco. I did my act, and it was amazing. There was almost 4,000 people there. It was a sold-out theater event. And then they would later on have me perform in Dayton, Ohio, at another show they did. So I had a blast. So here's a couple pictures. I don't know if you can see them all the way in the back. Some pictures of some of the things I got to do. And this is all while being a children's pastor. I had a blast. As a matter of fact, the picture up in the upper right-hand corner is me in Cuba. I got to go to the country of Cuba, and we got to train a bunch of leaders, and I got to entertain over there, juggle, and present a message. Obviously, there's a translator because I don't know Spanish. And so it was a blast. I had so much fun. But working in the circus, I was by myself. I was a solo artist. I'm not married. Someday I hope to be. But I know some of the performers, they have their wife, their assistant. But tonight, I'm finding myself in a position where I need an assistant to help me with the trick. And so I was curious if there's anybody out here that may want to assist me in doing a trick. Would that be cool? Yeah? Okay. I see somebody in the back. You have no idea what you're volunteering for. You want to come help me? Come on up here. Let's give them a big hand. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Give me a hug. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, look, my brother. Yes. Come on up here, buddy. Oh, yeah. What's your name?
Zachary.
Zachary, that's correct. Very nice. Zachary, have you ever been in show business before?
No, but I do a community with my friends that literally is basically like a show. It's called LARP.
LARP?
Live action role play.
Really? Where do you guys are you in Florida?
I live in Florida, yeah. I live in a small little town that's called Putnam County.
Okay.
But I come out we actually were out at the Tampa Comic Con with our community doing our LARPing dungeon.
Oh my gosh. Well, if you're ever in the area, I would love to come and see you. That would be so much fun.
We do it all, I do that by myself, but I also do Special Olympics.
That's awesome. Let's give him a hand. That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so you're familiar with show business and how it works. And so,
on stage too.
yes, so you're a natural. Beautiful. See, I knew you was the right pick. All right, so check this out. You're going to help me with a juggling trick. Matter of fact, would you like to learn how to juggle?
Yeah.
You would? Yeah? All right, this is going to be fun. Okay, so before we get started, though, I'm going to need you to sign this release form. I know it's written in French. Just ignore that. Beautiful. Thank you so much. You're in my world now. Okay, so Zach, as you know, being a fellow performer, when you're on stage, especially, when I did the circus stuff, I had to wear a flashy outfit, and you got to really know how to move and work with the crowd. Confidence is so important. So, You get on stage, and not only do you have to master doing the skill, you have to master at the presentation of the skill. So we're gonna work on some presentation stuff, okay? Along with me teaching you, okay? All right, so I'm just gonna need you to follow and repeat after, or do what I do, okay? All right, we're gonna work on the final bow. Yeah. That was pretty good. Yeah, I want to see it again. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. You're a pro. Give me 5, man. Yes. All right. Now, also, when you're on stage, you have to have a good costume. Yeah. And so I have a costume for us to wear. Okay? This is great. Okay, you're going to go like this. I'm sorry. I had to. I'm sorry. Here we go. Go like this. All right, you're going to bend over. There you go. Stay right there. Let me get this all situated. Here we go. It's okay. Look. Beautiful. Yes. Now we're rocking. Okay, so Zach, here we go. Now we're going to do those moves again, okay? Here we go, moves. Yeah. Look, they got their cameras out. You're going to be a YouTube sensation by the end of this event. This is great. So I'm going to teach you some juggling with, I have some scarves, okay? And so we're going to start with one, okay, and then we'll work our way up. But I have some fun music. I have found that music is so much fun to play with and work with. So I've got a fun song that we're going to have play while we juggle, okay?
You're beautiful. You're beautiful.
Yes. Do you like that? Not that song? Okay, we'll do another one. There we go. Do you want, I don't know if there's a way to turn it up just a little bit. Maybe just a tad. Here we go. All right. We're going to hold it out just like so. We're going to throw it up, and you're going to catch it. Very nice. We're going to throw it up, catch it with the other hand. Doing good. All right. Going to get a little tricky. Ain't he doing good? Come on, give him a hand. Let's give it up for Zach. Doing good, buddy. Here you are, man. Here we go. Here we go. He is a performer. He is a performer. Here we go. You're going to throw up. We'll throw up the yellow one first, and then you're going to throw up the blue one, and they're going to crisscross, okay? Here we go. All right, Zach. Here we go. Gonna throw them up, turn around, and then. That one scared me. I about bit the dirt. Here we go. There's that one. Here we go. All right. So you're going to put them out and do two, blue and the yellow and the pink. Beautiful, Zach. We're going to throw up the blue first, then the pink, and then the yellow. All right, and then they're going to cross. Just watch me first, and you can try it. Okay? Let's do 1, 2. Beautiful. All right, here we go. All right. So now that you know how to juggle, we're going to work on the grand finale, the final trick. Okay? It's going to be a dandy. I have here, is your back okay? You're good with laying down? Yeah. Okay, I have here a My Little Pony blanket. Who likes My Little Pony? At least some people aren't ashamed. All right, you're going to lay down on that. You lay down on your back. There you go. Make yourself comfortable. All right, Zach. You ready? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attempt to juggle. By the way, let me get this music playing. I'm going to attempt to juggle these what we call traps on a stick. Okay? Now, these are really cool. And to show you how they work, they are all set. Okay? So, okay, now let's see. Well, that one's no longer set. No, it's got another one. It's two-sided. I'm nervous. You get the point. Okay, so Zach, here we go. So you know one's not, but we got these other two, okay? But I'm going to juggle these trap sticks over the top of you. Okay? Now, I will say though, seriously, I mean this is a really cool trick. Do not go home and try this. You go to your friend's house, Aunt Sally's. But I'm a trained professional, no joke. A trained professional, and I have this this hat that you can put over the top of your face to protect your face. Okay. All right. So you're gonna put your arms to your side. There you go. You're a good boy. My brother. My brother. Okay. Here we go. It's getting weird. There we go. All right. So Zach, it's very important that you stay perfectly still. Okay? And then what you all are going to do is you're going to help me count to 3. Because on the count of 3, I'm going to juggle these loaded traps over the top of Zach. Here we go. So, on the count of 3, we ready? 1, 2, 3. Come on! Check this out! He did not urinate himself. We are in good shape. Zach, come on up here, man. Let's give him a big round of applause. Turn around and take that bow. Take that final bow. Beautiful. All right, Zach. So you can take that off. Careful. There we go. Let's give it up for him. Thank you so much. You're a blessing. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Please let me know when you're going to be performing, okay? I would love to come and see you. Let's give it another big round of applause. You can make your way off stage. Thank you so much. All right. I know what y'all are thinking. Can he actually juggle them? And yes, I can. Awesome. All right. You all enjoy that? It mixes things up a little bit. I like having a good time. So, my purpose for being here tonight is obviously I want you all to have a good time. We're going to laugh and carry on, but most importantly, it's the message that I want to share with you. Who do you want to be? You have the potential to impact the world around you. Every single one of you. No matter where you're from or what disability they may have labeled you with, it doesn't mean that you can't impact the world around you, because you can. And I've discovered that it's possible. And it's so rewarding, especially when you are, and more than anything, when you go beyond yourself, when you're serving those individuals around you, whether it be in your family, your relationships, or your careers. Who do you want to be? There is a special calling on every single life in this room. Very special calling. And you can accomplish things that you may not be even able to understand or fathom. But there's greatness on the inside of you. Greatness. Everyone say greatness. Greatness. And let me tell you something about greatness. Greatness is not, we put this thing, in this world today, we paint this picture of what we think greatness is. Sometimes greatness isn't what it appears to be according to Hollywood standards. Greatness, in my opinion, and many others' opinions, is when you encounter hardship, difficulties in life, but you rise above them, and you are soaring, and you're helping others along the way. You're giving hope to people. Greatness does not mean it's an easy life. Greatness means that you're not allowing the difficulties to entrap you. No pun intended. So who do you want to be? Get inspired. Think to yourself, what is something that has inspired you? Every single one of you. You may have a memory whenever you were younger, just like with me. My memory was I went to the circus. That juggler inspired me, and then I would later on go to kids camp, and that speaker inspired me. He revealed to me that there's more to just juggling. There's a message, and there's a way to present something of value to others. What is something that has inspired you? And please feel free to take notes. This is something good for everybody. What is something that has inspired you? What are you good at doing? Every single person in here is good at doing something. You may know what it is, you may not know what it is, but I'm sure there are people that are around you every day that know what you're good at doing. Find those things. Identify your strengths and your weaknesses. What are you good and passionate at doing? And if you have a weakness, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not meant to do that. It just means that maybe you need to hone your craft some more. Just like with me with juggling. You know what? I didn't come out and just start juggling all these things. No, it took time, dedication. And you know what? I still occasionally drop. Doesn't mean I'm going to give up. Just means maybe I need some more work. Had a bad day. Those things are normal. But get inspired. Make sure I don't want to hit this mic, tear it up. So, the next step. Develop a game plan. Set a date and realistic goals. When do you want to achieve this by? So every single one of us, we want to accomplish something in life, right? Yes. Okay? Many of you, who has a job and a career as of right now? Okay? Who would like to do something different other than what you're doing? Or who in here may not know what you want to do yet? And that's fine. You can take these steps. Every single one of you have potential to impact the world around you. Get inspired, develop a game plan, set realistic goals. I want to juggle, so I practice. And something else, which tonight I do have a book, as Lori was telling everybody. I wanted to write a book. Last year I released it in February, and so something that helped me accomplish that is I set a date and I set a realistic goal. I knew, okay, by such and such time I'm going to have the first draft completed. So set a date, set realistic goals, establish your schedule. How often was I going to write the book? I had to take time out of my everyday schedule. All right, I'm going to set an hour aside here. I'm going to do so much. I'm going to set an hour aside there. But there has to be a schedule set. And then, step 3 is discover your why. Why are you doing it? Why do you wish to pursue this path? As a little boy, obviously I fell in love with the juggling. At the beginning, the reason why I started it, because I wanted the applause from the people. But then later on, I discovered that there's a message. And that was really what motivates me still to this day. It's the message. And what I can give to others. And so, why do you wish to pursue this path? Your why is often what motivates you to keep going, because there are going to be times where you're going to want to give up. There are times still to this day where I feel like giving up. I have bad days, and it's normal. I simply don't stay down, though. I pick myself up because my why motivates me. I know that there's people out there that need to hear the message I have. And it would be selfish of me to not share it with them. So, why? Step 4, find others who can help you. Who is that person that can encourage you? You need a good support system. A good support system. Whenever I was writing the book, I needed people to help me. I had my brother, which my brother is here tonight. Shane, he's all the way in the back. Yeah, my Brody. And so he helped me. But then I had a whole bunch of people. I had another lady in Arizona that held me accountable. I had an attorney. He was looking at all my stuff and going over it, making sure it's going to make sense. People that were encouraging me along the way. Cody, you're onto something. Keep going. Don't give up. Learn from those who've already mastered it. I have a lot of mentors. How many of you have mentors in your life? Raise your hand. You have some mentors? Cherish your mentors. They're so important because you need them. I had to learn from people that had already written a book. What did you do? Who did you go to? Which way do you think is best? Do I self-publish or do I traditional publish? There's all these different questions. So mentors are so important. Step 5, enjoy the journey. Don't be so concerned about the end result that you forget to enjoy the moment. And so often we can do this in life. We think, oh, I want to achieve this. Oh, I want to get married. I want to have so and so many kids by this age. I want to do this. I want to have this job. I want to make this much income. I want to have this house by this and this and this. Slow down. Take a deep breath. Don't be so concerned. It'll happen. Everything will happen in due time. Don't be so concerned that you forget to enjoy the now. Enjoy the now. So when you take all these steps and you combine them together, the results can be quite impressive. So here's what I want to do. There's a great quote by Greg Reed. It says, a dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. A plan backed by action makes your dreams come true. And so I want to just take just a couple moments here. I'm going to turn on some music. And I want you to write down some of your dreams and your goals. Put a date with it. What is the plan that you're going to take? We're going to take just a couple moments to do this, and then I'm going to come back up, and you guys are going to have the opportunity to ask me some questions, okay? All right. There's the book. Okay. you all get something written down? Yeah? Well, listen, it's so important that you guys understand that you have a calling in your life. Capture a vision for your life, because if you don't have a vision, you're just wandering through life, hoping for the best. Sometimes things can happen, but often it's when you plan things out that you will see something come to pass. And so just like with the book, oh, I hope to someday write a book, I would like to do it. No, what I have to do, I have to set things down in writing, write it out. Okay, I'm doing a book by this date. I want to have it completed. And I even announced it on Facebook. I got everybody excited. And so instantly, everybody's holding me accountable. Cody's writing a book, they're waiting for it. So you know what I got to be doing? I better be writing and doing my part, because people are now expecting a book. And so maybe you're here today and you say, I would like to write a book. Hey, I'd love to help you. Number one step though is set a date, establish a schedule, and things will begin to happen. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be sharing with you another episode that happened in my life that drastically changed everything. Some of you all may be seeing my arms. I know some people have already been asking, what happened? I'm a burn survivor. Tomorrow morning I'm going to tell you about a whole nother story, and how I had to endure and overcome that hurdle in my life. But I have discovered that it has turned out to be one of the greatest blessings that could ever happen to me. And I can say that now. Now, if you would ask me that 6 years ago, forget it. But now it's become one of the greatest blessings, because it really has enhanced my calling. I was going to tell you about whenever I had the OCD and the Tourette's, because I said I'm going to tell you later on how that enhanced my calling. Whenever I was in ministry school in Rockford, Illinois, I was given the honor and the privilege to speak to all of my fellow classmates. And it would be during this time I would share my struggle of having OCDs and Tourette's and worrying, and just constant this anxiety and twitching and moving. And I opened up about this on the stage. And to my amazement, at the very end, after I got done speaking, I had probably 4 or 5 different classmates, guys and girls, that came up to me and they said, I have the exact same thing. Thank you so much for sharing with us your story. And it was at that moment I truly seen that it did enhance my calling. I knew. Sometimes in our painful moments and the things that, like I said, the world may frown upon, it's really through those things we learn so much. And they really can enhance us. So, some people in here, you may have the same thing. We all have different obstacles we have to endure. But those things very well could enhance your calling in life. And it will open up amazing doors and opportunities for you. Now, as a burn survivor, I have a lot of opportunities in the burn world where I can go and speak in different places. Tomorrow, I'll share more. But I want to use this time now. Is anybody that has some questions? I'm open to questions to talk with you all. I am here. I'm an open book. I would love to impart into you guys' life. Any information, encouragement I can give you, I'd love to do so. Yes, sir.
When you say you wrote a book, I'm an aspiring writer, and is your best recommendation to publish with a company or just self-publish?
Well, I will tell you, in today's day and age, that was one of the questions I had. You can self-publish a lot easier than trying to get to a traditional publisher. And a lot of my mentors, they suggest doing self-publishing now because times are changing.
Right.
And
right.
everybody is buying on Amazon. Amazon is the biggest platform out there. So a lot of these bookstores that are selling traditional published books, some of them are closing down. And so if you self-publish a book, there's royalties involved. You're not going to get rich from a book.
I know.
But it does help. You
Yeah.
get more when you self-publish. But it also requires a lot more as far as marketing and writing and you finding those other individuals. And it can be very costly But then again, it doesn't have to be. It just all depends on what you want to add to it.
Right. I'm an aspiring writer and poet, and I just really want to. It's a dream of mine.
Well, I'd say definitely go for it and don't give up. And like
I'm
I said, set a date, have people that hold you accountable. Set time aside every day to write it. My book is not, and to be honest, it's not a very big book. But it originally was going to be like 40,000 something words. I sent it off to another editor and they'd cut like 10 something thousand words. So it's important. So you set out to establish something and also learn to adapt. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Learn to adapt because some things will change as you go along. But keep at it. Keep going.
Definitely.
I love that. Good stuff.
Okay, is there a way to turn it down?
No.
I'm with James on that, and Cody, I've always wanted to be a writer. My dad has stage 4 lung cancer, and my mom having arthritis and all sorts of health issues. I've always wanted to travel and be a writer. Is there anything I can do as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think you have an incredible story, and look at the things you're learning through this experience. And find the lessons through these difficult times. And I'm sorry to hear about your father. And, just be there for him. And like I said, set those times aside, write every day, write your thoughts, your journey, and find what you want to accomplish out of this book. Who are you looking to serve? And like my book is more of a self-help book. I'm sharing my story, but it's not about me. It's really about helping the reader. And so it's helping others through my story. And so, but I definitely think go for it, 100%. That's awesome.
Hello, my name is Ben.
Hey, Ben.
I also have Tourette's and also other disabilities like autism. High functioning autism. Well, can you also have, I also want to say, keep following your dreams and definitely go for it. And also start small, write, basic, books, even 1 or 2 pages and go up the way. I also have hobbies and goals, but I also have careers. Is it okay to have even though you have a plan A, but also have a plan B, do jobs on the side as well as work towards your goals?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I would recommend that. I was a kids pastor, and I guess I should backtrack on that path too, because being a kids pastor was one of the greatest privileges of my life. But ultimately, I wanted to travel. I wanted to travel the world and share the message. I didn't want to just stay in one community and share there only. And so, but financially, I had to understand, okay, you can't just make the jump, you have to plan accordingly. And so that's 100% fine. And, but also at the same time, don't lose sight of what you really want to accomplish. Just take, like I said, baby steps to slowly work your way there.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. That is cool. I love it.
Hey, sorry. Okay. I do lost my family. Exactly, my daddy. He died from cancer. And then I lost my sister, actually. And then she lost cancer too, also. What? Oh, sorry. My question for Cody is I have lost my family from they actually died. So what do you want me to do?
That's not a question. That's a pretty deep question, yeah. I'm so sorry to hear about your loss. And I can only imagine the heartache and the struggle that it is. And, For yourself individually, I would say you're in a good place being with everybody here this weekend. I think it's important that you understand that you're not alone, that there are other individuals out there that are encountering the same thing, unfortunately. And find a good community and support system that can be there for you, to help you and encourage you. But I'm so sorry for your loss. But ultimately, don't give up, keep going, and know that life is worth it and that there is a calling on your life.
So I am a person with a hidden disability. And one question I just want to ask as somebody who, as somebody with a hidden disability, have you ever been in a situation where during all these attempts of accomplishing goals and pursuing dreams, people tried to undermine your struggle, tried to tell you that because you didn't look disabled, you must not be going through the struggle that you know in your heart you're going through?
Absolutely. I think especially if it is hidden, my OCD and Tourette's, that is a hidden struggle, and it has caused me so much turmoil and torment. And some people don't understand it. And that can be difficult to try to get across, and you have to also understand their side too. You can educate them on the matter if they're open to it. But, you just have to keep going. Even though they don't understand, just move past it, because, you understand, but it's most important, just who cares what they think? You keep doing what you're doing. You keep pressing on.
I have a question.
Yes.
As a kid, when I was going to middle school and stuff, I always had people pick on me and stuff. Some of the things I used to do, but you know what? I don't let it bother me because I'm more better than that. And it used to bother me, but not no more, because I know how to ignore ignorant people. Yeah. So.
That's good, man. Yeah, just brush them off. People are going to talk. People are going to say things. That's something we cannot escape in today's world. But most important is that you keep moving on in life, and you keep pursuing what's important to you. And don't allow the opinions of others to hinder you or to trap you. Who cares what they think? You keep going, because you know what? They are I have discovered that people like that, they are the amount of people, the number of people, they are small compared to the amount of people that are willing to embrace you and to be there for you and that love you and support you. So don't allow the few to distract you from the many that really do love you and care about you.
So my dream is similar to yours. It's a two-sided part, but I want to get a restaurant open that's literally a LARP restaurant where you can come in, be somebody else that you normally aren't doing and stuff, and have a good time, so it's gonna be like a LARP, but it's a restaurant actually. So you do a juggling competition. How did you did set goals, but you had to work on both of them, didn't you? To even think separate before you can even put them together. You had to figure out how do you do that, right?
The message in the juggling?
No, how you do both, you do them separate and they come together to make something wonderful?
Yeah.
How did you come to do, how did you think of putting them together, your two things?
I studied others that were doing it, and you kind of just learn, and you find, I'm a big person. I love metaphors, analogies, and I will often find the juggling. There's tricks, like tomorrow I'm going to do a balancing trick, and I have connected it to an analogy, something that represents, I'm a visual learner, and so I am, the message, I went to school for that. I honed in on my message, my speaking skills. I'm still learning to this day. I never stopped. And the juggling is something I mastered all through growing up, and I'm still learning and growing, but it just comes through experience, because over time you discover what they draw to, what they like, and it's just trial and error. And then you just see it, connect it, try it out and see if it makes a difference. And I have seen good results. Step out and find out. That's a good answer.
Hi, my name is Josh. I'm 24 and I have cerebral palsy. My question for you is, I have had trouble kind of finding my place. And I know that I want to help people. Like whatever I end up doing in the end, it has to serve someone, like you were saying earlier. But I've had trouble finding like stable employment. I feel like people, they look at me and see me as not being capable.
They see your disability and so.
Right. And how do you overcome that? How do you kind of, push that off to the side and power through it and say, no, I can do this?
Yeah, I think about one of my mentors, and he had to encounter this because his is very visible. And one of my mentors, he's in a wheelchair. He's actually 3 feet tall, and he has I can't remember, it's a bone disorder, and he encounters some similar problems. He shares with me this story how he went to, I think it was Best Buy, and they had refused to hire him because of his disability. And he shares of how he simply had to shake it off, keep moving forward, and I think I can only imagine the different hurdles and the job, the disappointments, and the people that will refuse. But there's going to be somebody out there that's going to seize you, and they're going to realize that you have the most important thing is that you realize you have potential, and you keep going. My mentor, he ended up working in the White House, and now he does public speaking nonstop. He's an incredible man, and so just keep going. Don't let it defeat you. Know what you can provide, and prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. Because you know what? And if one door closes, another one's going to open up, and it's often going to be a lot better than the one that closed. So keep going.
Related questions. From my parents at the they had you didn't mean about did my teacher they introduced them to me, and my parents had to read the parents. So my mom, she's the nurse, and she helped out the kids that hurt, helping adults, and I lost my my cousin passed away yesterday to my uncle, my cousin, and talk about that helped me long ago. My dad helped me about that I do about us, about other people. That helped me about help me to the parents. So about us, it's about me, my parents, about us, and about yourself.
Just trying to catch the question. Okay. Man, keep going, buddy. Keep going.
Hi, my name is Anthony, and I'm 20 years old. I have autism, ADHD, and OCD. I also have been suffering from depression for 4 years. I'm also a suicidal survivor as well. And because I have inspired so many other people to keep moving on and to never give up. I also, well, I want to be two things. I want to be a movie director, writer, and producer, but I also want to be a mental health counselor to help other people to move on. Is that a possibility to have two jobs like that?
I don't see why not. Man, I am just so thankful that you're here at this event. And I am so honored to meet you. I think it's awesome. Man, there is a calling on your life. And it looks like you have come to that understanding. And there's no reason why you can't accomplish anything that you set your mind out to do. And so if you want to work both, go for it, man. Sky's the limit, and I'm just so glad. Just keep on going, buddy. You have an amazing story.
Thank you
and I
very
believe
much.
that you can help thousands of people.
Thank you.
Thousands of people, I really do.
My question, I got one sister with ability. She got her cousin, her mother. She wants to be supplies and internships. Yes.
Cody, I got to make a quick announcement.
What's that?
I got to make a quick announcement.
Oh, go for it.
If you're a parent, please get up and go to Lori's session now. It is 5 o'clock. Bye, parents. You are no longer welcome in this room. Caregivers, too. Anybody else have any more questions? Please raise your hand.
Hi. Well, I know as a kid in middle school, I used to participate in talent shows, and every talent show I attend, I like to sing. Then sometimes when I do sometimes when I get done, there are some people who like to come to the back and just give me like this talk, like you can't sing and like you can't do this and that, and they even make fun of my voice. But then that didn't stop me. Then the question I have is that for you as a performer, did you have to deal with that same pressure
of people saying that you're not good?
Well, like for people making fun of you and telling you that you're no good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, people, and I'm gonna tell you, and I think the biggest critic that I have is within my mind. I think we're often our own biggest critic, but yes, there are people out there. I will tell you, I was doing a show one time in Dallas, it was Tyler, Texas, and I was doing a circus show, and it was going to be doing at a large theater event. And I went out, it was during the rehearsals, and the lady that booked the entire circus, she was out there watching me during rehearsal. And during rehearsal, I was dropping all kinds of props. Because I was doing my full act, and I was dropping, messing up. and the woman was flipping out and basically saying he's no good. Well, what's he doing here? And later on we would have the show and things went better, but I just had to shake it off. And so you're going to have those people, but I think if you look at some of the world's biggest athletes, they all went through times where people said, "Oh, you're not so good." They turn them down, but they keep pushing through, and eventually those that say you're not so good, they're going to be eating the words because, yeah, you are good. So, yeah, man, don't listen to the naysayers. They'll always be there, unfortunately. You just have to brush them off and not let them distract you. Yes. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask you, I've been through the same issue. In school, I was bullied. I was made fun of in school. I do a lot of entertainment, like you. I play drums, play guitar, and I'm very heavily involved in my church, like you are. What can I do to not let people, because people like to make fun of me and give me dirty looks and stuff like that. What can I do not to let people do that?
Well, let's see. What would I do is, I think sometimes when people see that it's bothering you, they feed on that. But sometimes the best thing to do is to simply ignore it and remove yourself from that situation.
Absolutely.
And often that will retrain them. And people, like I said, people are going to make fun. People are going to say things no matter what, unfortunately. But it's all a matter of how you respond, and just shake it off. And really, you have to be the bigger person in the situation because they're being childish. So the most mature thing would be to just stand up and say, "Hey, it's not going to bother. It's not bothering me," and you just go on with your bad self. Some of them are jealous. Some of them are just, and I've found that, I think bullies, ultimately, the root of their issue is insecurity. A lot of them are insecure with their own self. They're not happy with their own life, so they dish out on others. I think that's awesome, man. Oh my gosh. You're a busy man. So I need your autograph. That's what you're saying. I need to get it now.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. Keep going. Yeah. Hey, God has been faithful in my journey. My faith, I am very open about that. I'm respectful of other people, but God has been good to me. So, yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Scott Lichtenstein. I currently am on the autism spectrum. I also suffer from anxiety. I'm sure you know what that feels like. There is one thing I am considering as a career, and that is singing, because I would like to consider myself as a performer like you, because I know what it's like to be on a stage, and I've done it so many times, particularly in high school, and but then I also have another interest with cooking as well, because that is something I really enjoy, and I've really enjoyed watching all these cooking shows on the Food Network. So I'm kind of conflicted which career to go to first, singing or cooking. What do you think?
Oh my God.
I just thought I'd say it.
Well, I'm going to tell you, okay, I love food. And
okay.
So,
Fair enough.
No, I don't know. Which one? So you love them both equally?
For me, I think it's singing, because I've done it so many times in high school. And can I tell you a little story about my favorite memory of my singing career.
Okay.
I had this amazing teacher, Miss Kafer. She was, I think, meeting her, to be honest with you, meeting her was the greatest day of my life because I met her when I was in 9th grade and I had her for chorus. And then the following year, I had her for Give Me the Mic, which is a music class.
Okay.
And hopefully I can continue to inspire other people that are passionate about music because I feel like she inspired me as well.
Yeah. Oh, there's no reason why you can't, man. You know, just keep between the two. I don't know. Just go at them both, man. I mean, hey, you got to eat. I mean, as a singer, you need your energy.
In terms of my singing, that is something I'm really, really passionate about. I've done it so many times, so I consider myself a bit of a performer, just like you.
That's awesome. I love it. I love performing, entertaining. That's great, man. And I love food. I have to watch I have to be careful when I watch them shows. I gain weight when I watch them shows. Yes, sir, in the back.
Yeah, hi. I forgot to mention this earlier. My name is James Loggins, and I am ADHD, and I have a mild form of autism of the high functioning range, Asperger's syndrome. And growing up, I was pretty much the odd kid out, and it kind of gave me more bullies than you expect to have friends, and to this day, there are some people who still try to bully me and try to isolate me, alienate me, and it hurts. But I've always back then it would have bothered me up to kazoo, just eat away at me. But I just shrug my shoulders and say, hey, it's your loss. But at the same time, I want to become a motivational speaker as well as a writer, and I just don't know where to start with that. And I mean, I know I have done a workshop before about my writing and at the Family Cafe, and I just want to start somewhere, and I think that was the first step with that. And at the same time, I don't know where to start or where to go to or who to talk to. So, I mean, maybe do you have any suggestions?
Absolutely. I could hook you up with a few. And I think as one of the greatest things we have at our fingertips is YouTube. And as an entertainer, and I will say, whenever I was younger, learning how to juggle, whenever I was like 5, 6, YouTube wasn't around yet. It later came on as I was getting into my teen years. And so when that happened, I started studying these other jugglers as the videos would come up on YouTube. I learned from them. But I will say, also writing the book and as a public speaker, there is a lot of great resources on YouTube, things that you can learn from. Incredible people have put resources and things out there. Grab a hold of those things. And there's a lot of good conferences you could go to.
I mean, as well as a writer, I am an amateur blogger and a video blogger, and I just speak about different topics and stuff like that. I mean, I always believe you need a contingency plan on all your goals. I mean, if one goal doesn't work out, then you need another one.
Yeah, I mean, and it's trial and error with anything. But, ultimately, I think the why do you wish to do something? That's a good drive right there. With mine, I wanted to give hope to people. And I will say that vision, at the very beginning, I wanted to reach thousands of people, and I had an idea of what it was looking like, but I still didn't know exactly what it would look like. And after what I'm going to tell you tomorrow morning about my story, things have changed, and I've adapted to those changes. And so I'm still giving hope to people. It just may not be in the way that I originally had intended. Or some pieces it may be, some pieces not. So you just kind of go right along, but ultimately know your calling, know your main mission, and then there's different avenues that you can take to get there.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, I'm Dakota, and wow, that's loud. I am a writer like you, and I am trying to find a good publisher that will actually publish my book.
Yeah.
But right now it's hard because I don't have the money to do so.
It's very tough. Entrepreneur, any kind of thing like that, doing it on your own, it's not an easy journey. And I will say, traditional publishers, I have a friend, he promoted a book, or he had a traditional publisher that bought his book, and he now regrets it because his royalties aren't good. They take control of the rights. And so what I would say is do an ebook. Do an ebook. You can do that really cheap and find some people that are really good editors. Maybe you can make a book at really hardly any cost at all. I spent more money on mine for just personal preference, but you can make a book cheap, and you can do it, like I said, ebook technology, download it instantly to your phones, iPads. So self-publishing, I guess is what I should say. You should try that. Self-publish.
Asked me to like do like 600 just for the publish.
I forgot to mention, I used to get bullied growing up, like ever since middle school in particular. And I've learned it bothered me less and less growing up. And I haven't only got bullied by kids, I got bullied by teachers, professionals, all different types of people. And
wow.
It's been pretty hard, but I've been learning. Sometimes I'm still learning to deal with people, but it's so much better than it was when I was younger. It's just, and also high school was a lot better than middle school, in my opinion.
Wow, yeah. And so the adults were the ones that were bullying in that case.
Yeah, the school district was pretty tough on me.
That's sad.
I'm from Tampa too, and all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you're not in school no more, right?
I'm in college. I live in Gainesville now.
Okay. So in college, you don't have problems with teachers doing that?
Not
stuff?
really, not at all.
Okay, that's good. Wow. But you're here.
Yep.
You're still pushing through.
Yep, of course.
You know what's interesting about school is when you're in school, the bullies and the little cliques and the groups that you think are important, when you get out of school, those no longer exist. And so like all the popular kids, there is no, like we're all in this thing together. Yeah. You just like I had bullies in school. I wasn't the most popular kid in school, but here I am. I'm still juggling and being goofy, and I love it. But I have a blast. I've been able to help a lot of people, and that makes it worth it.
Anyone else have any questions? All right, Cody.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and sit down and do your...
We can do some book signing.
Your
you guys
signing,
want
yes.
some books?
So, everyone, hang on. Let's not bum rush Cody. We're going to do this in a reasonably fashioned way, okay? So that way Cody doesn't feel overwhelmed and it doesn't get too crowded up here, okay?